my name is Natalie Winesickle. I just wanted to start out this video to let you know that this is my first time filming a YouTube video, so it might be a little all over the place, but this is, the start of my YouTube channel, and I just wanted to spread awareness about a couple of things, but also just bring you along in the day-to-day of my life. I am a wife. I am a mom of two little babies, a 2.5-year-old and an 8.5, almost 9-month old. Actually, she'll be 9 next week. I am a stay-at-home mom. I am in college. I am an Air Force veteran. And most importantly, I am a child of the living and true God. This channel will be dedicated to all of that. But this video is actually going to be about spreading awareness on my daughter's journey. Her name is Lila, and we're just going to be talking about everything from when she was born to what led up to us finding out about her medical conditions and every step in between and leading into her surgery. But besides that, today's video is about my second child and the trials and tribulations that we've been going through with her. And I just wanted to bring awareness to her condition, something that I had personally never thought of or heard of, which is kind of crazy. But to get into that, I just wanted to, like I said, bring awareness to what she is going through and kind of bring you guys along the way to show you exactly what we had to deal with, how we found out what she had, which I won't leave you guys hanging. She has a cleft palate, which I've heard of cleft lip, but never cleft palate. So this was a journey for all of us, and I'll just kind of walk you guys through that, and if you have any questions, let me know, but I'll just start right at the beginning. So with my first child, he was born full term, actually he was a little bit over, so I had no issues with him. It was a natural birth. And it was awesome. So then a few years later, I got pregnant with my second child, and this one was completely normal throughout the entire pregnancy. The only weird thing was I had to go back like 5 different times for ultrasounds, which was okay, but it's just because she was being stubborn and not wanting to let us see her little heart. So nothing out of the ordinary happened during the ultrasound. She was born at 39 weeks. I had to be induced. I was induced with actually both of my kids, but I had to be induced, and due to low amniotic fluid. So they just wanted to, be on the safer side, induce me. She was born in 6 hours, so super quick labor compared to her brother, who was born after like 24 hours of labor, which was just intense, to say the least. But she was born 6 pounds, 2 ounces, 18 inches. She was just perfect. I tried to get her to latch when I breastfed my son, so I was trying to breastfeed her, and she just wasn't getting the hang of it, I thought. So I just decided to talk to the lactation consultant that they always offer when you have a baby. She felt her mouth, she felt the inside, she apparently looked inside, I don't know, sweetest lady. But she said that she just had a really high palate, like up in the roof of her mouth. And so we just kept trying and trying and trying. We were released the next day after having her. However, she was losing too much weight, so we had to go back the next day to see the pediatrician in the actual labor and delivery area, which I thought was strange, but besides the point. And he didn't see anything. We had another appointment with the lactation consultant, and she just kept trying to feed her. We were giving her bottles because she was losing weight. I was pumping and giving her that milk. She just was she was taking like over an hour to just eat like 2 to 3 ounces, which was, I didn't know what else to do. So we continued to see the lactation consultant for about a week. And then after that, the lactation consultant noticed she had a severe tongue tie. So we thought, that's the problem. That's why she can't latch. So we go and get her tongue tie clipped, because it was a grade 4 tongue tie, which means tongue ties are usually like a little, like, it's right underneath here, and it's like a little flap of skin that just connects the tongue to like the tip to the bottom of your mouth right there. But they said hers is like a grade 4, and it was basically like a strap. So instead of it being like a finger, it was like this. So they had to cut it like multiple times because it was so thick. They were all inside her mouth too. They didn't notice anything weird. They just said after that she should be, you know, smooth sailing. So about a week after that, after it was all healed up and everything, she was still losing weight. She was still taking a long time to eat. So they set us up with a feeding therapist on base. And before that appointment, my sister was actually visiting, and she said that she's like, "What's that in the back of her mouth?" She's like, "It looks a little strange." So I was like, "Oh, I don't know." My husband said the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, I noticed the same thing." And actually, my mom, when she came to visit, she noticed the same thing. But we had never heard of cleft palate before. We'd only, you know, heard of cleft lip because cleft palate isn't really spoken about. So we're just like, that's strange. Maybe it's just, you know, just something normal. We don't really know. But we saw the feeding therapist. This was about the beginning of week 3. At this point, she was like 5 pounds. It was very scary. She was healthy but too tiny. So we saw the feeding therapist, and as she was trying to feed her bottle to see what the problem was, she noticed, she's like, "Hey, what's going on with the back of her throat? Does she have a cleft palate?" And I was like, "I have no idea what that is." So she took a picture of it, and she sent it to her friend who she had learned all of her stuff through, other than, like, you know, medical school. She was like her mentor essentially. Her mentor texted her back. She's like, "That baby has a cleft palate." And we were just like mind blown, because we had finally had an answer as to why she couldn't latch when she was trying to breastfeed, why she couldn't get any milk down within like an hour. And it was a relief, but at the same time it was like scary because it was the unknown. So it was just mind blowing, because we had like 3 different people looking inside of her mouth at the time. We had the lactation consultant, we had the tongue tie person that was clipping her tongue tie, and the feeding therapist. And the third person finally caught her cleft palate. And for those that don't know what a cleft palate is she has a partial soft and hard cleft palate. So if you put the tongue to your roof of your mouth and you feel that hard thing, that's your hard palate. And then towards the back where your like uvula is, the dangly thing, that's the soft palate. And hers is open in the back. It's like almost like a U-ish looking thing. She kind of has like 2 little uvulas, like the one right here. So that's why she can't latch, because she can't get any suction. And that's why she was losing so much weight. So we were able to get these things called, like, they're little blue discs that go in the Dr. Brown's bottles. And they're little valves. So because cleft palate and cleft lip babies can't suck, so they just chomp and chomp and chomp. So the valves, in essence, put the milk into the nipple, and then they squeeze down and the milk shoots into the mouth. Instead of them having to suck, it just shoots right into their mouth. So we finally got that. But right after we learned that she needs surgery, because cleft palate and cleft lip babies, they tend to have issues with feeding, obviously, and speech, and they have developmental issues like with sitting, which actually is something else that she has, because the neck muscles are weak because it's open in the back. They tend to have a lot more issues growing up and developing and reaching certain milestones. And I am not an expert by any means. I'm just wanting to get this out there, so if any other mom, you know, is going through this and doesn't know where to go, because I was in the same position, I want somebody else to be able to know that you're not alone, and this is scary, but it's going to be okay. So my daughter actually has surgery this Tuesday to do a cleft palate repair. They're doing a Z-plasty, so basically like a Z in the back of the mouth with all the muscles and stuff intertwining. I don't know. I'm not a surgeon. But besides that, so she's been seeing a feeding therapist and also a physical therapist due to her not being able to sit up. She has a weak neck, and she also had, what's it called? Torticollis. So torticollis is like a weakness or tightness in one side of the body or the other, which can be caused by cleft palate, but it can also just happen to normal babies that are completely healthy. It's just the way that they sit inside of your uterus and how they're pressed up against it. So hers was like this. So her entire right side of her body was tight, and so she couldn't sit up. So we stretched it out, and now she can't sit because her neck is weak, but she's getting stronger every day. So that is her story. And I just wanted to give a few verses. I am a Christian, I am a Bible believing Christian, and I know that this was a really hard thing to come to terms with because I felt like I kind of missed out on the attachment with like the breastfeeding and stuff like I got to do with my son. So I was going through a lot of emotional ups and downs. But there's a couple of verses that I have right here on my phone that I wanted to share. So Philippians 4 verses 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Another one is James 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. So I just want you to know that even though, yes, I'm a Christian, and yes, that does not mean that my life is going to be perfect. I will go through trials and tribulations here on this earth. However, God is with me and he will help me through each step, which is how I've been able to cope through this alongside my husband and my son and my family. He's the one that has been the guiding hand throughout all of this and comforting me. And I want you to know that you can have comfort in him too. He's there for you and with you every step of the way and after. And I just want you to know that Jesus loves you. And if you have any questions, you can pop them down below. I'm going to vlog her whole journey. So I'm going to vlog the before surgery, right after surgery, and all the healing process and all the ups and downs that we have to go through. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. I will see you in the next video. Bye.